Good morning, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. Take your seat, please.
Thank you, sir.
Kanika Goyal, you are from Delhi University, LSR, did
Yes.
political science, and after graduation, you did do post graduation?
No, sir.
You have not. You just last year you passed out, I suppose.
Last to last year, sir.
Last year before last. Okay, you are from Kathal also.
Yes.
Kathal, Haryana. Now you have spent a lot of time in Delhi. Now, Delhi, we see every day newspaper, there is a lot of unseemly controversy between the Delhi Chief Minister and the Delhi Lieutenant Governor. Of course, he doesn't say anything, but there is a Chief Minister keeps on saying so many things. Latest, he said there should be a double engine between the Chief Minister and the LG, something like that controversy. Now, what is the administrative structure of Delhi, Delhi especially, NCT Delhi, which makes such, you don't hear about this thing any other state, only Delhi. Why it is so administratively, legally explained? And according to you, I mean, suppose you are given a chance, what you do, how would you have solved this problem? Because it can't go on. There is a capital of this country, it should not go on. So what is the structure which makes this sort of thing problematic? Every day there is a problem. And what would you have done to solve this problem?
Yes. So, as you rightly said, that Delhi has a very peculiar scenario to say. But it also emerged from the peculiar circumstances that Delhi is in. It is strategic for us. It is the capital of the country. And thus, under Article 293AA of the Constitution, Delhi has been provided with special provision, whereby there is a government of NCT of Delhi, which has its own legislature, but there are certain powers with police, public order, and land that are there with the central government, which it administers with the help of the LG. In line with the Supreme Court judgment also, that there should not be a tussle, and they should be handling the affairs by coordinating with each other. We don't see such thing coming up, and it's important that both of them are coming together and resolving on this point. My view on this would be...
You see, the administration police is with the LG and Minister of Home Affairs, agreed.
Yes.
Rest is with the state government,
Yes.
the state legislature. But the complaint is, we see the newspaper, that in every case, finally any expenditure proposal has to go to LG, even be it education, which is within the purview of the state government, Delhi government. Anything, any expenditure, even for sending teachers to some place in Switzerland or Norway or something, there you have to take the approval. So, which means every single proposal has to finally go to the LG for approval. But as you say, constitution is just for certain areas, yes. Administration, police, etc. Understandable. But it is not happening. It is happening. Every single thing is getting stuck there, as the Chief Minister is complaining. We can't do anything. Why?
So, as I said that Delhi has a very peculiar structure and is strategic also to the country, being the capital. Also, it requires a very broad view to develop.
No, so what the LG is doing is wrong. So what the LG is doing, you said that extra constitutionally he is doing all these powers which are with the Delhi government. He arrogated to himself all these powers, and he is forcing the state government, the Delhi government, to send all these proposals to him for approval. So he is doing he's not doing what is legally correct. That is what you are saying.
Yes, sir. I'm not saying that he's not doing what is legally correct. He's within his legal right to ask for the proposals. However,
why? Because his power is limited to police and the general administration.
But as the LG also has the power to administer the area and has the power, so is the head or has the duty to administer Delhi.
No other governor has the power to ask for proposals. You can any state you go, he can generally ask for information, but approval, no governor has power. You go to Haryana, your own state,
yes, sir.
Doesn't have. So why Delhi? Why Delhi has the power to approve? Even for going abroad, sending abroad the teachers, check approval, not information of the LG.
So I think I'm forgetting some part from the constitution or from the legal law or the statute that is there.
Okay, what you do have
But-
done? Okay.
Yes.
Now suppose you are in position to help this state, Delhi. What would you have done?
My suggestions to improve the situation would be, one, to ensure there is more coordination between the LG and the Delhi government. Second, to ensure that the Supreme Court ruling which has come up, also the amendment that has been made to the GNCT Act recently, both are held together and they find certain platform by ensuring that where the LG requires his discretion to be exercised in the matter of strategic importance, he is exercising it, and where the things can be left to the government that has been elected by people.
Basically,
that
you will
can-
find a sula safai between both the parties, some kind of a
So I think in the political matters we need
political
to have
solution,
some
not a legal solution,
conciliatory
but a political
solution.
Okay.
Also,
Thank
yes. Yes.
PSIR is your optional. So,
Yes.
which are the areas of your interest?
So I'm enthusiastic by political theory, by international relations. I also like reading about Indian government and politics.
Very well. So, Machiavelli talks about virtue and fortuna.
Yes.
What are these concepts and what does he say about them?
Yes. For Machiavelli, virtue has a different meaning altogether. So
It's not virtue.
That this is not virtue which had been envisaged in the Christian ethics or which the Borgolas used to practice in Italy. This is a virtue which he embeds in the pragmatism or realism, and which he wants the prince to embody, to ensure that whatever the fortunas or whatever the difficulty the prince is going to face in his
He calls
rule-
fortuna a coquette.
Yes. So whatever difficulties are there, he is going to handle them fiercely, with strength, with those virtues which are realistic and which analyze the situation around the person.
So, prince should be a combination
Of fox and lion.
Okay. Machiavelli also inspired some theorists
Yes.
of international politics.
Yes.
Which theory is that?
It is realism, sir.
It is realism.
Yes. Sir.
Realism is very briefly what it is and who are the other sources of inspiration to it.
Realism is a theory which again believes that the international structure is there. So the international relation, so it has two theories to it. One which believes that
I'm first talking about classical realism.
yes, so classical realism believes that the international relation is more about balance of power, and all the states are looking for more and more powers so as to ensure that their power is maximized. And war is the solution, so it is embedded in the Treaty of Westphalia of 1648. Then there is modern realism, that is more of a structural realism, that the theory that has been given by Kenneth Walt. We say that international structure is different from the domestic structure, whereby in the domestic structure there is a hierarchical form of government. In the international structure there is no government.
So I'll
and
stop
thus
you
there is
here.
security.
What is the, you must have read the billiards ball theory also.
Yes, sir.
So what is it? Very briefly.
That billiard board theory is given by John Burton. It says that the states are like ball placed in billiard.
Yeah.
And they
what
are
is the
going
outer
to,
shell comprises of? The hard outer shell indicates what?
the boundaries.
Sovereignty.
Yes, sir. Thank you for informing me, sir.
Okay. And Mearsheimer talks about the security dilemma.
Yes,
So
sir.
there are three types of security dilemmas. Are you aware of them?
No,
One is perceptional,
yes, sir.
structural,
Yes, sir.
perceptional, and the imperialistic.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So you can just brush up
Yes,
on
sure,
these things.
sure, sir.
And also 6 distinct phases of Indian foreign policy.
Yes, sir. So, should I tell that?
No. You know already.
6 distinct phases of Indian foreign policy.
Yeah. Just tell me the years.
It would be 1947 when we got independent and the policy
Just
of
the years.
Then 1971.
62.
Yes, 1962. Then 1971, I'd like to skip the wars with Pakistan. Then 1990s. Then 1999 and the nuclear doctrine that came up. And
98.
now 1998 and 1999
And 2013.
2013.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
All right. 1987, something of significance happened between India and Sri Lanka. What was that?
It was a code signed between our then Prime Minister Sri Rajiv Gandhi and the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka.
What was that agreement about?
It was about the autonomy and the rights of the Sri Lankan Tamils in Sri Lanka.
The Indian Army went there to implement the peace accord.
Yes, sir.
It landed up fighting LTT.
Yes, sir.
How did that happen?
So it is because of the peculiar scenario the Indian Army was placed in. So it went there to ensure that there is no conflict between the LTTE and the Sri Lankan forces. But Sri Lankan forces were keeping their bay. But LTTE started the offensive, and then bound by the agreement, we had to ensure that the violence is not boiling out, and we had to take up guards against the LTTE in Sri Lanka.
That's not really accurate. We read about that. But there was some major fault line in the whole thing, you know. Who all were there party to the signatory, who were signatory to the agreement?
The leader of the LTT, then leader, Prabhakaran.
No, that's the problem. He was not party to the agreement. The agreement was signed between Rajiv Gandhi, that is India, and
President of Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Jayawardena.
The affected party, which would have implemented or not implemented, was never signed it.
Sorry
So
for
it was
that.
kind of forced on him. Now, China, can you tell us the Chinese worldview, perception of the worldview, and how are they actually shaping the world to what they want it to be?
So the Chinese perception of the world comes from its own strategic culture, which somehow views China as a middle kingdom or a middle kingdom syndrome, where the rise of China is different from other countries of the world. That is, I mostly relate it in contradiction to the idea of Indian idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, where we imagine us as a part of the world. Currently, the way China is shaping the world, I'd say yes, we are seeing the world in a chaos or more of an apolarity kind of scenario. But not to say that China is emerging, but majorly it is disrupting the world, breaking the rules-based order that has been established. Also, not following the international obligation and treaty agreements, and more of an aggression kind of.
But how is that any different from what the Americans have done? They went into Iraq. That war was never approved by United Nations.
Yes, sir.
They went to Vietnam. It was never approved by United Nations. What is happening in Syria? United Nations is not able to change anything. So China is only doing what everybody else has been doing. Your comments?
My comments to it would be still with the US, some parties were there in line. But with China, we see more of a wolf warrior kind of diplomacy. Also, the way it is increasing its influence in its own backyard or in its own neighborhood. That was not the case with the US, where it somehow ensured that the regional peace is established, or because of the Monroe Doctrine, the regional balance was there with the US.
Is it? Or they have actually sent every region of the world into turmoil? Middle East, Iraq,
So I think
Somalia,
that is
Afghanistan.
Yes, sir. That is the result of the power being concentrated into a unipolar actor. But the way the power transition is happening to China, that is more disruptive in the way it happened to the US as a result of the World War II. Also, there was Russia as well in that bipolar scenario which emerged. And after unipolar scenario which emerged in 1990s, it was not that much a case as we see with China.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Kanika, you have graduated in PSIR.
Yes, sir.
So I thought you will be more suitable for Indian Foreign Service. You have put it at number 3 reference. Why so?
So Indian Foreign Service is a very good service where I would have got opportunity to be an ambassador, to visit different countries and present the proud which I feel as an Indian to other countries. But I felt myself more suitable to Indian Administrative Service, more so because it was a childhood dream which I envisaged from the beginning as an only child to make my parents proud and coming from a state like Haryana. Then when I entered into college, though I took up political science, I realized that I am more approachable, more inclined towards interacting with people. To ensure that there is a better society, an inclusivity, equitability established. And thus I found that yes, the choice that I have made for myself to get into IAS.
Tell me, what will be India's position in the new global order? The situation is in a turmoil in the entire world. And India's position is very strong. Economically also it is a third power. It might become number 2, beating China after a decade or so. So where do you see India's position in the new world order?
In the new world order that is emerging, firstly, in the emergence of the new world order, India is going to play a major role as it is doing through its policy of multi-alignment, also through its G20 presidency to ensure harmony, hope and health and peace is established in the world. Second, it is going to be an important actor for reformed multilateralism and to ensure that the world is not spelling into chaos in the new world order. Thirdly, it is the voice of the global south and the developing world, and to protect their rights, India has always stood forth and continue to stand, sir.
You come from Haryana.
Yes, sir.
Haryana is a state which is facing a lot of challenges in almost all the facets of life. Position of women is very weak there. What have you to say on that? They are not getting 33% reservation in the public domain.
So I like to politely disagree with this point that Haryana is, yes, every state has its own set of peculiar challenges. And so does Haryana with the youth out migration and inequitable regional development. But on the point of women, I think from a society when Haryana became a separate state in 1966, till now we have ensured we have come a lot forward. Sex ratio has improved as seen from the recent NFHS data. Okay. It has come to
But what about skewed sex ratio in Haryana? It's very, very poor. Sex ratio. Female feticide is very, very common, and then dowry also is very much prevalent. How to overcome these evils?
As I said that the NFHS data of 2019-20 has indicated that Haryana has improved its sex ratio. There has been tremendous success on the implementation of Prevention of Prenatal Detection Act, and the district governments have been the district administration has been working very stringently on curbing such things. Also, behavioral change has happened through Sakhi Sammelans, etc., which have been held by the government. Aapki Beti, Hamari Beti, Sukanya Samriddhi Abhiyan, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao have actually tremendously improved the situation and with ensuring proper skilling, proper participation in the labor force.
Haryana is considered to be very fertile for the Babas. They are emerging almost
yes.
every day, and they have very good influence on the poor people who are illiterate, all with credentials are very, very clouded credentials. Why it is so? Why it is so?
The clut culture had been more prevalent in Haryana because the kind of community or the social structure it had been. It had always given more importance to the community alignments or the village structure, and thus that had allowed some people to emerge and increase their dominance in a village and then to certain district and then expand from there. And now, as the state is moving forward, the youth is becoming more aware. I think, in my belief, sir, these things are declining. Though the trend remains and the Babas remain, but now an aversion is emerging, and people are more less inclined to approach such clubs or religious organizations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Kanika,
Yes.
have you ever faced discrimination in life?
In my family, ma'am, I would say I did not face any discrimination. I have been a meritorious student, so I did not face any discrimination to say. I think with smile and confidence, even if that would have been the case, I have faced or I have ensured that I put my opinion forth and don't allow any such thing to come forward to me.
But do you agree that gender-based discrimination is hampering growth of women?
Yes, ma'am, I would agree.
Can you think of any example lately that was in news? That's all right. You're from Lady Shriram College.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is Lady Shriram?
Yes, ma'am. Lady Shriram was wife of Lala Shriram. Her actual name was Srimati Phulan Devi.
So it should have been Phulan Devi College.
If I get a choice, I'd like to name it as Phulan Devi College. But I think in his memory of his wife, Lala Shriram, in line with Lady Evan and Lady Harding College, named Lady Shriram College as such.
All right. Kanika, India is becoming a water distress country. How do you think we can solve the problem of water scarcity?
Some of the solutions, ma'am, from my side would be, first, agroclimatic cropping. Second, to ensure groundwater depletion is reduced. We have proper laws in place, and there are certain laws extended to the agriculture sector as well.
But you see, these laws are there in Haryana as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Whereas the implementation of these laws is very poor. So, what can we do to implement them better?
To implement them better, ma'am, we need coordination and to ensure that coordination and proper grassroots level implementation. Because most of the water depletion is happening because of the irrigation that we need to ensure to produce food or the surplus to export to ensure that it is there for people to be fed with. And there has to be coordination so as to ensure we make a very better transition from wheat and rice or sugarcane to a better agroclimatically suited
What
crops.
is happening to GSDP of Haryana? Is it increasing or decreasing?
It is on an increase, ma'am.
What are the factors that are responsible for this increase?
One of the major factor, ma'am, is the industrial development in Gurgaon and Faridabad. Also, the Palwal region that is being recently included, and these regions are contributing about 35% to the GSDP. Then the second region is the steel and the marble industry, which is located in the industrial clusters of Hisar and Rewari, that is contributing to the GSDP, ma'am. And then the agriculture is also a major contributor to the GSDP, whereby the exports of the basmati rice constitute a major component.
All right, my last question to you would be, don't you think it's high time that Haryana should move its capital away from Chandigarh? How can two states have one capital? I mean, there's so many other cities, districts in Haryana that are capable of becoming a new capital. What is your opinion on this?
Ma'am, because of the administrative challenges we are facing, I think, and I am of the opinion that we should be ensuring that we get a better capital. Haryana government is recently has also started expanding to Panchkula, that is near Chandigarh, and is developing it as a mini capital for the time being. But in my opinion, it would be better if we can have much more geographically accessible, where the state can, or the capital is more accessible from all parts of the state, is connected to Chandigarh as well as to Delhi, and can ensure that it has some cultural background to it. And I'd like to recommend certain districts like Jind, Rohtak, or even Kurukshetra can be the capital of Haryana.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kanika. Please wait outside. We will call you back for feedback.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. May I come?
Come in, please. Kanika, formal interview, just be relaxed. Just sit.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. When is your interview?
It's the 19th of April, sir.
19th of April, so today is 25th. So 3 weeks. You can say 3 weeks. First interview, first exam, first interview.
It is
So,
my
you
second
first,
interview.
you've done well, I mean, very well, very nice. First interview is done quite reasonably well. You are properly attired, also quite nice, very pleasant, very. Some little improvement, obviously. Now, confine yourselves to the question which has been asked.
Yes.
Don't volunteer more. Achha, have you given any mocks earlier?
I've given
Iska
a few
pair.
online mocks, sir.
Online. So what did the online mock say? Anything they said? Some suggestion?
They asked me to be more precise.
Exactly. So this panel offline also will say the same thing. See, it's you know the subject, but doesn't mean that you volunteered some information which is not been asked.
Yes, sir.
Just confine yourselves to whatever has been asked. That's all. Don't go beyond this. Okay? So, because the panel 30 minutes where you have to ask so many questions, so they don't have time.
Yes.
They're just at the second when you're saying that, listen to the question, what exactly being asked, and then point wise say.
Yes.
Point wise, sir, firstly I want to say, secondly I want to say, third, fourth, point wise and stop. You should know the art of stopping.
Yes, sir.
Stopping your answer. If there is a supplementary more information, you will ask. Okay, so don't volunteer more than what is being asked. Secondly, if you do not ask something surely, then ask for, sir, can I guess? Ask for permission. Because you are going, some questions you are going round and round and round without, because you are not confident. And the
Yes.
board is a seasoned fellows. They have been doing it days in and days out. So they can make out when you are not confident about something, some factual information. So if you don't have, you are a little there, so you can take a guess. But you have to ask, sir, can I take a guess?
Yes.
Like that. Or you are totally not convinced. So they say, sorry, sir. If you said, I don't know, that doesn't go against you. But if
Yes,
you don't say that and try to guess,
Yes.
second guess or something, that is a little worse than saying afterwards, say, I'm sorry. You are not expected to know everything. Not everybody everywhere
Yes.
doesn't. Even the panel members also will not be knowing many things. One person may know, another person may not know the same subject. So it's not, but guessing, second guessing, it's not really, it doesn't put you in a good light. Your integrity, honesty kind of. You're just trying to kind of like that. And many subjects, PSIR is subject, foreign relations, you have to brush up, catch up. Political science also, sir was asking, you have to own subject. There is no option because you don't have many of the things from which they can ask. Your subject, obviously, they will ask.
Yes, sir.
You are from Delhi, they like the Delhi also, really, you don't know you have to just brush up why all this
Yes,
happening. There are legal problems. This thing, nobody will do this thing just to poke us. There is some problem, genuine structural problem in Delhi. So go into that. So like that. Then Haryana also obviously expected Haryana, you know quite well, but in the sense ki all these Khap Panchayat and all that business, Khap Panchayat is happening. You said ki there is no problem with the ladies, but the Khap Panchayat is happening. Even now today it is happening. So why they are happening, all that business. And secondly, you are not government officer as yet. You are not got into IAS. You are a candidate. So you have your own opinion. You don't have to support state government all the time.
Yes.
If you think something is there, you can neutrally say that. But you are not a spokesperson for the state government or any government.
Yes.
You have your independent opinion, reasonable opinion, reason,
Yes.
like that. and anything foreign relation, you have to brush up.
Yes, sir.
Because PSIR, international relation, obviously you can't expect anything on foreign relation. India is interested, bilateral, multilateral, any agency, anything, and all these things happening now, COP27, IPCC report, all these things. Economics was not asked, but there are a lot of things that are happening in the market, capital market is happening, Heidenberg report, capital markets, somebody is a capital market, is a bloodbath in the capital market, foreign banks collapsing.
Yes.
Impact on India, not India, no impact. The northeast developmental challenges, the home, the what you call the terrorism. Punjab, bordering state, Punjab is Khalistanis are raising their heads, so there's an issue there. So all that things are happening all over, all around India, and is wherever India is cross-sectioning with the outside world, like Sarah was asking about Japanese, there could be other. China, yes, China, Pakistan, the usual stand, but Nepal could be, Bangladesh, Nepal, immediate neighbors, like that. So all these are, you have to, you still have time, 3 weeks, and economic newspaper must read every day, your Economic Times or something, and those beautiful dialogues take place between wire and print and all that, no? So those you listen to them, because they will not ask you only basic bald facts. They will ask you your opinion on those facts. Yes. You have to have your own opinion. Maybe some small notes, chits, etc. You can prepare. Small the controversies of the day. There are a lot of local things are happening every day. So small chit, 2, 3 points, 2, 3 points, and maybe some practice before a mirror. The way you are saying. Sometimes you are going a little flat. Punctuate, modulate. Make it interesting, because when you start your strong point, you keep at it. No, you know, stop, point wise, modulate, punctuate, like that. So even you see, sit before a mirror in the house, you can make out.
Yes, sir.
So that, of course, you are not seeing yourself, no. So that's why it is happening. You sit before a mirror, you can see yourself. You want to ask us anything?
Other panel members?
It's consolidated feedback that we have discussed, and then
This is what the entire panel, I have already discussed with the panel members.
So I fumbled with the Sri Lanka question, and I tried to make a guess.
you were generally right, but the major issue there was that this agreement to sign between India and Sri Lanka.
Yes.
The major party to the conflict was LTT, which was never taken into confidence. They never signed it. Then you're trying to impose on it. You see, when some incident took place, some of their cadres committed suicide in the jail, and then the whole thing went off. And then India thought that you could actually force them to get to the negotiation table. That's the crux of what happened. So the basic fault line was you never took. This should have been signed between LTT and the government of Sri Lanka.
But Prabhakaran was there during the negotiation.
These things were discussed between India and Prabhakaran, but it was more or less, it was not a voluntary agreement from his part. It was kind of an enforced thing. And then when something went wrong, he just pulled out of it. He was not committed to the agreement because he never signed anything.
Thank you, sir. So I little bit most of the time supported or said that such kind of thing is not happening in Haryana.
Just a little allowed, huh?
I said that the sex ratio, as you said, that it's not declining. It's the status of the women is not improving in Haryana, and it's on a bad state. So I, based on my argument, I said that it's not and it's improving. Did it send a bad light that I'm not acknowledging the social status of the women in Haryana?
No. See, you said the social status of women in Haryana going up and down. So you said something she didn't agree. So she's not. So do you feel bad that she's not agreeing? No. He will not feel bad if you got a reasoning for that. But
everybody is entitled. You are entitled to your viewpoint.
You don't have to agree with. See, sometimes the people take a posture. The members also may take a posture just to provoke you. your these things. It's not that I am personally thinking that I am right or you are wrong. There is nothing. There is all some acting going on sometimes. So, but it doesn't mean that
It's a
you
part
have
of
to
interview,
agree.
just to-
No, you don't have to agree with anything, but you have to have reason. But social status in Haryana may be a little raising, but Khap Panchat is still there. Khap Panchat, there are incidents still there. So all that thing he said, but you have got your position. He said, no, I'm sorry. By status, the record shows that Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao.
And you said so, that I politely disagree with you.
Polite,
That's a
sir,
good
sorry
thing.
sir, I politely disagree.
That's a
My
good
view is like that. So it shows it in a good light, provided you have got a reason for that. You have got data for that. So you have got data, please go ahead and say no, sir. But that shows that you are courageous. I mean, you got courage of conviction. So that is good. You don't have to agree with everything the board members. There's a posture. Board member is just taking a posture, just to provoke, just to put you in a spot and just to put you under pressure to see how you react or something. You don't have to do anything all the time.
Okay, sir. So for the question of Machiavelli, the virtue and fortuna, I did not mention the virtues which Machiavelli has.
Question was on virtu, not virtue.
Yes, sir. So
Virtue, you added.
virtue.
I laid emphasis on the word virtu and clarified it is not virtue.
Yes, sir.
Virtu is the ability to control your circumstances.
Yes, sir.
That is virtu. And fortuna is coquette. What is coquette is, a characterless,
Yes, sir.
which can only be controlled by a strong man. That is what Machiavelli says.
Yes, sir.
For that, the prince is advised to act in a certain manner.
Yes, sir.
A combination of fox and lion.
Yes, sir.
Better be feared than loved. All those 3-4 things. Because Machiavelli, the entire theory is based on the human nature.
Yes, sir.
As far as realism is concerned, the basic source of realism is Hobbes.
Yes,
The
sir.
classical realist theory talks about, is
Yes, sir.
greatly inspired by Hobbes.
Yes, sir.
Hobbes also inspires the neo-realist, which talks about the structural aspect, that there
You have
is
to really brush
class.
up all that. You have to really go back to your.
You will get
So
a
you
recording.
need to just go over the,
Go back. You have to
get in touch with whatever you studied.
Studying, you have to go back to your textbooks and all. These are basically, sir is asking textbook questions. They may ask because PSIR.
So if the board has to rate me, like give me marks out of 275.
We don't intentionally don't give marks, but we can only say that you have to. You have done well. You have done well, but you can do far better. That is what we are saying. You can do. You have got 3 weeks there. Just systematically cover all your bases, foreign relations, subject, PSIR. Then you are just listen to the question. He asks or he didn't ask, but you just there's a communication gap.
Yes,
You also explained. So that's why listen to the question is very, very important. Be alert. 30 minutes, just be alert. Everything you just listen, process in your mind the possible answers, point wise, most important point first, the next important point second, third, fourth, and stop.
Yes.
You should know when to stop. Point wise, no conclusion, no introduction, nothing, just stop.
Yes.
Then supplementaries will follow. They will want to ask more, they will ask. But you should not keep on drag. Sometimes you are little, because you are strong, you know subjects, so like that gene, then ma'am didn't ask you where your capital will be, but you said it could be, but it was never asked. It can be gene, it can be Rohtang, I don't know, something he said. He just said ki capital, Chandigarh should be there. They said Chandigarh should not be there, however there should be gene. She didn't ask about gene at all, like that. So you got a lot of scope for improvement, but you are still on a good wicket now. It's not that you are bad, you are absolutely good. So don't put additional pressure on your mind that I am not good. You are absolutely good. You are smooth. You are this thing because you are from LSR, Delhi University. So there will be higher expectation, isn't it? Everybody knows about LSR, political science. There you are the cream of the students at Delhi University. Delhi University is the best university, one of the best in India. So that's why they will a little higher expectation. That's why I'm saying just improve further. You are good. You get good marks.
Thank you, sir.
There is no doubt about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.